on, Black. Find your home.
We hit Black 11.
I hit Black 11. That's the Dragon.
Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we are here with Georgia Southern wide receiver number 19, Josh Dallas. First off, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and you've got one hell of a first name.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, so you're entering your redshirt junior year at Georgia Southern. How's the off season been? Is this kind of, obviously you got married, so
Yep.
congratulations. So the off season's been a little different. But as far as football goes, how has that been going for you?
It's been phenomenal. My first few years, freshman year, you're the new guy, you're showing up, you don't really know what to expect, and then you do this thing a few times and you
Mm.
understand how the off season works. Honestly, guys think I'm nuts, but I feel like I've found a way to love the random day in the middle of winter when nobody's watching just as much as the Saturday when we're about to go out and play App State. I genuinely tell guys, if you can fall in love with these random days that nobody's watching, you're sure as heck gonna ball out or at least get your opportunity to ball out on a Saturday when your number's called. So I've been loving this. Honestly, I feel like I live for the 100-degree sprints and the feeling like you can't go another one because that's really when you're tested. And so I'm having a blast. Another thing I'll say too, it's been phenomenal having so many returning guys, especially offensively. Obviously, we've been missing a few really key guys that we had last year that have moved on. But even those guys have shown the way for a lot of us other guys that are returning. It's huge to have JC returning. It's huge to have Dalen Cobb, OJ Arnold, so many guys from the offense, a ton of the offensive line. It feels almost like this is the first year where we've been able to come off of a season, come back, and it feels like we're not restarting. It's like we're continuing to grow. And so it's been a really cool thing because it's my first all season really feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, especially, JC is one of the only one or maybe one of two Sun Belt starters as a quarterback returning too. And, Georgia Southern as a whole, y'all's roster didn't really change that much. Of course, some guys left on their own, people graduate, but, Georgia Southern has one of the highest returning rates in the entirety of college football, and that speaks volumes not only to you guys in the locker room, but also the coaching staff.
Oh, 100%. I tell guys all the time, like, this coaching staff is the best in the country. I have a ton of buddies that are playing a ton of different places in the country. Old names, old whatever, I don't care. A lot of them are miserable because of the coaching staff. I'll tell you what, I love waking up every single day and I can call my offensive coordinator, I can call my head coach if I need something. Like, they genuinely care for you as a person, and then that makes you want to play for them even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that the number one motivator in the world is love. So if you can love your staff and you can love the teammates around you, it's going to go so much further than when you're saying that to you hate your opponent or whatever. Obviously, like, you have your rivalries, you have all of that. But if you can in the off season build that love for your staff and for your teammates, man, it's going to go a long way in season, and that's what we've gotten to do every single day.
Yeah, you're the last guy that I've talked to. We talked to Caleb Cook, JC, we talked to Brendan Harrington, I just got off with Chance. And every single person said that the coaching staff really connects to you on a personal level. Like, they're not just your coaches. Like, if you need something at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, it's pretty much guaranteed that
Yep.
Coach App, even, Coach Bailey. I know if you call Coach Bailey or anybody else, they're
Yep.
right there with you.
100%. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like some coaches in my life that I look back on, I'm like, man, do they even remember being a player? With this staff, they 100% remember like what it's like to be a player,
Mhm.
to be a dude that you know that you need your coach's back, and all these dudes have our back, and it really does mean a lot. For instance, anytime we have a break, They're always texting us, always calling us, making sure we're safe. Anytime that they know we're on the road, they're always texting us, make sure you tell us when you get there safely. Stuff like that, that really does go a long way. It seems little to them, but it means a ton to us because it shows that they genuinely do care.
Yeah, and I mean, especially, with some people, maybe not come from the best home life or maybe not have a father figure in their life. It really seems like they're almost a second dad in a way to you
Yep,
guys.
100%. You're exactly right.
Yeah, and I mean, at least everybody on that staff, I'm pretty positive at least played high school football, and half of them at least played, Division I football
A
or
ton
college
of them.
football at some level. So,
Yep, and a few of them played in the NFL, so
yeah,
pretty
so
dang cool.
yeah, and and you got a guy like Coach Safford being there. Obviously he's not your position coach, but
Yep, that's
y-
my guy. I
yeah, I
love
was about to
him.
say, I mean, Georgia Southern guy through and through. You know what I'm saying? And Coach App is, one of the best quarterbacks in the Sun Belt Conference history.
Yep, yep. I'd say the best.
Yeah, I'm hopefully JC can surpass that by the
That's
time he's
exactly
done.
right.
That's the goal.
Some,
If
I love it. I love it.
it
You're
or
exactly right.
whoever, if it's not JC, whoever it is down the line, at Georgia Southern, hopefully that
It's
happens.
exactly right. It's Coach App and it'll be JC this year.
Yeah, yeah, but quarterbacks obviously, you've had a lot of good quarterbacks in your life. Your brother being one of them, unfortunately, his football career got cut short. But, talk about what was it like just getting catches from your twin brother?
Dude, I'll tell you what, there is nothing like it. It starts even before kind of tossing the ball. I feel like it's the number one accountability partner and character pusher. I don't know if that's even a phrase that's used every single day of my entire life. Being identical twin brothers, growing up on a football field, growing up in the weight room. I mean, it is constant competing as much as we possibly can in the best way. And then that just so happened when we were 4 or 5 years old picking up a football and we realized, dang, I freaking love this.
Yeah.
And then it always has been, I've always caught from him. He's always been the quarterback, and it's always worked that way. And I'll tell you what, man, growing up with him, any ounce of success that I ever have, that I've had in my past, that I have now, and that I'm going to have in my future, is all because of him. Because literally, there are countless nights I can't even imagine. I can't even tell you how many nights there are where it's like we can't sleep. We're going up to the facility, or we're going up to our high school facility. When we were younger, getting catches in at midnight, all of that. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than having a Division I quarterback as your twin brother, because I was getting the best work I possibly could every single day growing up. But man, I'll even tell you what, it's like even going into this year, not that I don't need motivation. I try to strive to be the most disciplined human being I possibly can be. So I try to tell myself I don't need a motivation, but motivation is a good thing.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I'm doing everything I possibly can for the Lord, number one, for my family. But man, I'm doing everything for Him. Any ounce of success that I have, it's for Him and it's because of Him.
That's awesome, man. And no disrespect to any other quarterback that you've played with, but we talked to Tyler Fromm about a year ago, and I've known Tyler for a long time. He'll always say his favorite quarterback's his twin brother.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. There's something
So,
about the twin connection, man. It's there's nothing like it, dude. There really
and
isn't.
especially in high school, it's almost kind of like screw it. Like I know Josh is down there somewhere. Like he
That's exactly
wants the
right, dude.
ball.
Our OC would get so mad at us because it'd be a Thursday night before the game, and me and Dave are staying up late and we're watching tape together, and we'd be like, all right, we'd come up with a few different hand signals that were audibles just between me and him, and we'd do them in the game, and we'd score. We'd have a huge play. Our OC'd be like his hands in the air, but we'd be like, hey, we just got 40 yards, or we
Yeah.
just scored. You can't be that mad. And then he'd laugh. But we would do that all the time, and it just kept working.
Hey man, six
Oh,
points is 6 points. I
that's
mean,
that's exactly right.
you
So we
gotta.
definitely had our own little hand signals going on, our own audibles, but that made it dang fun. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I got to play for your dad, correct, in high school?
Yep, our dad was our head high school football coach. He's a heck of a coach. He's been in the state of Georgia for as a head coach for 30 plus years. Been to 8 state championships. Won 3 or 4 of them, something like that. He's a heck of a ball coach. So that was a dream growing up for sure. Our whole life to go win a state championship with him, and we went to a state championship our junior year, and then senior year we went undefeated, 14-0, and won the state championship
Yeah.
that last year.
I
So
was I was at that state championship game your senior year of high school
I love it, man.
because I knew about you and your brother. Obviously, just being from the state of Georgia, I mean, highlights the twin stuff going on, like people knew it on social media or whatever.
Right.
But I remember y'all were committed to Western Michigan, correct?
Western Michigan. Yep.
Yeah, so I remember when y'all flipped to Georgia Southern. And
Um,
my brother texted me after like everything was official, y'all signed, whatever. Like I remember spazzing out. Like I was like, these guys right here. I was like, this is it. I was like,
that's
these are the
awesome.
two guys that we need. And I remember watching y'all in state championship. Unbelievable game, by the way.
Thank you,
But
brother.
what was it like? What made you decommit from Western Michigan to Georgia Southern? What was kind of the deciding factor? Because obviously you and your brother, y'all are going to the same school. That was a given.
Yes, yes. So the biggest thing, again, it boils down to two. Our family 3 hours down the road from here. They're in Atlanta, and
Mhm.
so that was huge when that opportunity presented itself. And then number two was the coaching staff. Sitting down with Coach Ellis, Coach App, Coach Helton. It was phenomenal too. We walked in the building, and we're meeting Chris Davis and all these guys, and they have a home cooked meal for us. And they're all, I mean, it just, you sit down and it's almost like it's a family feel. And we absolutely loved Western Michigan, and we had incredible relationships with them. And they had a very, very similar feel. But there was something about Georgia Southern that just felt like home. And part of it was, man, I get to wear my state on the front of my jersey. Like I get to represent something way bigger than myself here. And Also growing up in Georgia, Georgia Southern has always been one of the premier places to play in the state of Georgia. And so when we got that opportunity, it was something that we couldn't pass up, especially being 3 hours down the road. And then the offense and the coaching staff, it was just something we definitely wanted to be a part of. And I'm so dang glad that we made that decision.
Yeah, especially, with you and your brother's, style of play. Coach Helton was obviously a big key in that with the new offense and Coach Ellis as well and Coach App, because if we were still running the old offense, the old triple option, spread option, I don't know if we would have gotten you guys.
Right, right. It was huge to turn on the tape and get to see all the things that they want to do in this offense. It really is phenomenal, and it's cool to see how it's kind of developed over the years. Man, Coach App has done such a phenomenal job, and Coach Shelton as well. It's a really dang fun offense to be in as a receiver.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of competition in that receiver room too. I mean, you got a deep receiver room and you come in, you redshirted your first year. Now you're a redshirt junior. You got 2 more years left. Hopefully you'll play 2 more seasons. Hopefully you don't go pro after this year. But of course, I want you to be, in the NFL,
Yeah.
obviously. But what are you looking forward most to this upcoming season?
Man, I'll tell you what, I want to just make the most of every single day. I'm trying to be extremely present. I'm trying to be exactly where my feet are at. And so I am worried about this day right now. And then tomorrow I'm going to be worried about that day. And I'm just trying to make the most of every single day. I was talking to my dad the other day and it was crazy. And I said, Dad, at the very most of my college career, I have a year and a half. That's crazy to think about. But at the very most, I have a year and a half. I'm gonna dang make the most of every single second that I get. Because the Bible says, the Lord teach me to number my days, so I may have a heart of wisdom. I want to have a heart of wisdom knowing there is a time clock on my college career. No matter how phenomenal it goes or how bad it goes, which it's going to be really good and it's been phenomenal so far. But I want to just make the most of every single game, every single practice, even going to lunch with all my guys, really just making the most of every single day. And that's what we're doing in the off season too. Actually, as a focus, that's been the big thing with our strength staff to our team is make the most of every single day. because we everybody in the country has the exact same amount of days, the exact same amount of hours, but what are you going to do with them to separate yourself?
For sure. And I mean, that's the difference between a good team and a great team. As you
Exactly.
would know, obviously. I don't have to tell you that, but who besides the coaching staff, obviously, you mentioned a couple of guys on the coaching staff that are a big part of you getting to Georgia Southern, but who outside of the coaching staff is a person, maybe not on a team, maybe a guy like Matt Wise, love Matt Wise, by the way.
My guy.
Who is somebody that you really connected with when you first got on campus?
When I first got on campus, Matt was huge for me. I always heard growing up that it was going to be so hard to find community when you get to college, so hard to be a believer when you get to college, all of these things. And now, when you get to college, you have everything at the end of your fingertips that you could possibly want. But if you're really striving to have a better relationship with the Lord and you want a community of believers, and that was my biggest goal when I stepped on this college campus, Matt took me in his arms and he introduced me to a ton of awesome believers that are in this community, got me plugged into Bible studies, discipleship groups. I'm over at his house all the time. Man, he has been so consistent over these last few years, really pouring into me, pouring into all the teammates. So Matt Wise definitely gets that shout out for sure, because that is my guy, dude. He is definitely kingdom minded. Man, you talk about a dude that loves every single day, has so much joy and peace. That's Matt. Everybody wants to be around Matt because it's contagious. So
It really seems like, more so under Coach Helton. No disrespect to any other coaches in the previous years, but it seems more like under Coach Helton that the team has been more connected, not only, in the locker room, but in your faith as well. And I feel like
100%.
that's kind of grown just almost, it's kind of like contagious amongst the team. You know what I mean? I don't know if that
It
might be the
is.
wrong word for it, but
It's
you know,
one. It's 100% accurate, because I'll tell you what. And I know that there's lines and there's things that you're allowed to do, not allowed to do, whatever.
mhm.
But every single person on our team, because of Coach Helton, knows that there's the opportunity with Matt Wise. Anybody needs him. Anybody wants him. Coach Helton makes sure that everybody knows that, number one, Coach Helton loves the Lord with all his heart and has a faith that he isn't scared for other people to see, and he also wants everyone else to have that opportunity. Now, he's not allowed to force anything, he's not allowed to whatever, but he makes sure everybody knows that Matt is there for anybody that needs it. We have Bible studies, we have discipleship groups, we have all those things. And then that honors the Lord, man. The Holy Spirit works and he's active, and all he's looking for is an opportunity, and he's open and he's waiting for us to be willing. And so, man, Coach Helton's been so willing to allow the Holy Spirit to work, and he really has. And it's been cool to see Matt Wise really make the most of that opportunity as well. And so many guys immediately, guys that maybe wouldn't get as comfortable or connected quick with the team, have instantly gotten connected with the team fast and comfortable because of coming to a Bible study, because of coming to lunch with me or Matt or somebody else that wants to open up the word. And it's been really cool to see the Lord work. So.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's not just the football team at Georgia Southern. It seems like that, with the athletes, other athletes, on campus have been really, really connecting with Matt.
100%. And Matt's awesome. I think too, another cool thing about Matt is that he's played here, he's always been here.
Mm.
So like he is a true Georgia Southern man. So first off, like you just see, I mean, it just beams through him the love of the Lord. But he's also a cool dude to be around. Like he knows ball. He knows how student athletes think and their needs and what they want to talk about and what food they like and if they want to go shoot guns or what, you know what I mean? Like he's a
Yeah,
cool dude as well. And so it doesn't feel like anything's forced or pushed or anything. It's a dude you just want to be around. And then he just so happens to tell you about the Lord. And then, that's a really good place to be for sure. And
that's
it's contagious.
awesome.
The Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength. And that is genuinely Matt Wise's strength, because he leans on the Lord for it. And that joy is contagious, like you talked about, because it's not Matt Wise, it's the Lord. So.
Man. Yeah, I mean, like you said, Matt, played at Georgia Southern. He's been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's almost like it's it's a little easy for him to connect with college,
Yep.
athletes because I mean he was one. It's a big dude too, by the way.
Huge. Oh my God. He's
Yeah.
a beast. I think he's got a few more reps left in him.
I know. I look at former players like him and Adrian Peterson, and I'm
Yes.
just like, dude, like I think he's still got it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I agree.
Like,
I agree.
but outside of football and your faith, what is really something that you like doing in your free time?
Man, I'll tell you, I know it sounds a little cliche, but it's faith, family, football. Those are the three things that I do on repeat, man. I do love with my faith again, it allows a lot of cool things like Bible studies and meeting dudes at lunch and stuff like that, really opening up the word. I love my family, man. Any chance that I get to go see my brothers or my sister, my mom and dad, hang out with them or call them, I do that, make the most of that. Um, and yeah, dude, and I freaking love football, and it's on repeat. I'll tell you what, I'm like, man, I'm trying to make the most of every single second that I get here, and I'm gonna pour into my relationship with the Lord, pour into my relationship with other people, and do everything I possibly can to win a dang Sun Belt championship here and get the opportunity to go play pro. And I'm trusting the Lord with it. Obviously, it's in the Lord's hands, and man, the most important thing though, I'll tell you what, I love just being with my wife. There's no better balance than you're working your tail off at football all day. You're pouring everything you possibly have into that, but also knowing that you have the support system of your wife, that she's not the type that, oh, I'm out there working. No, she understands that I'm out there doing it for her. I'm doing it for the Lord. And that makes me want to do it even more. And then when I come home, it's so nice to just even be with her and know that I have her. So man, I've got a simple life, but a really dang good life. God's been good.
You're getting me fired up though. Like I want to kind of run through a brick wall right now,
Hey,
to
I
be
don't know
honest with
what
you,
it is, but people say that. I don't know, dude. Maybe I've got motivational speaker in me one day. I don't know.
Frank.
I don't know.
So, me and my dad always tend to get to the stadium very early, and I always see you. You're always probably one of the first ones in the stadium,
Yep.
all that stuff. You're there early. You're always working out. I always see you throwing the ball against the wall.
Always.
Always,
Always. That's
always throwing the ball
every
against the
single day
wall.
of my life. Every single day of my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that something that you've been doing since high school or just kind of
Yeah, so started it in high school. I'm obsessed with process and routine. So if you
little
see me
things
do
matter?
something, if you see me do something one day, I'm probably doing it every single day of my life. But between body care and jugs machine and tennis ball drills and certain workout things and even the way that I eat and everything that I drink. I mean, everything is dialed because I mean, I'm obsessed with it. In Colossians 3:23 it says whatever you do, do it with all your heart is working for the Lord, not for man. I genuinely believe that the Lord has placed me here and I'm going to do everything I possibly can do to be the best I can be. And so tennis balls is one of those things. It's an everyday deal. Some days I'm doing it at 5:30 in the morning. Some days I'm doing it at 6 p.m. because it's before a 7 o'clock game and I've got to be in my routine. But yeah, dude, it's a everyday thing. I genuinely believe preparation breeds confidence. So if I want to have confidence, I have to have the preparation in the right place. And also, why would I just prepare on a game day or whatever when I have every single day to make the most of? So by the game, I've already done those tennis ball drills a million times. I've done my tennis ball drills, jugs machine, body care, all of that, the exact same routine as a random day in the middle of winter. And then I'm also doing it in fall camp every single day. And then I'm also doing it right before we go and play Fresno State. So I'm in the exact same mode to just go do what I do every single day. And then it's nothing new. So I don't get the freak out nervousness, whatever, because it's the same thing that I've done every single day of the year. So I keep the same process and same routine.
Do you think your dad just being a high school football coach just kind of instilled, you and your siblings in that like at a very young age? Or is that just kind of something that just, hey, kind of came natural to you?
100% my dad has been a huge factor in any and all of my success. Honestly, my whole life I've just looked at him and been like, how does he do things, and I want to do the exact same thing. And he actually he played college football and college baseball at Austin P.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
so he was a heck of an athlete too. And yeah, so multi-sport Division 1 athlete. So that sounds pretty cool. So
Yeah.
he's a heck of an athlete as well. And honestly, between his process and routine, and again, I talk about the discipline factor. My dad is so dang disciplined, and that was something I've always seen in my brothers and my sisters, always seen that it's something that just comes naturally. And obviously it looks a little bit different because he's a coach and he's a teacher and he works in he has a nonprofit called M46 Dads. And so he's got a lot of really, really awesome things. So obviously my process and routine looks a little bit different because it's a different area because I'm a player. But man, routine and discipline has been everything growing up in the best of ways. I think people can get lost in routine because they like it can be like the same old thing all the time. But that's when you really try to stay grounded and stay present where you're at and just try to make the most of everything. And so, kind of some of this motivation you hear
Mhm.
is how I talk to myself, how I get myself fired up because I'm like, man, I got to be here one way or the other. I might as well dang enjoy it. One thing my dad says that has always stuck with me is there's two ways to go through life. You can either survive through it or you can thrive through it. And it's a decision. You decide. So I'm going to decide to thrive through every process and routine that I have every single day. I'm going to make the most of it because, again, I don't know how long I have to play college football. I don't know how long I have on my life, but I'm going to make the most of every single day and have a good time doing it. So,
That's awesome, man. And, I've really enjoyed talking to you, the last, however long it's been. But last thing I got for you, we talked a little bit before the episode.
yeah.
Mount Rushmore of NFL wide receivers. Now, it can be, anything, you like any guys you like. JC really likes Jared Goff. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
it might not be the best, but it's just your personal favorites.
I love it. I love it.
I'm pulling up my list right now.
I have my no. I have my first name now. This again. Yeah. I have my first.
Okay. If you wanna do your honorable mention, I will do mine and then we can go from there.
Awesome. How many are we gonna do? We're gonna do honorable mention
Honorable
and then
mention 4, 3, 2, 1.
okay.
So five
Ooh,
total.
dang. This is tough.
I've gotten my honorable mention if you want me to go
Yeah,
first.
you go first on your honorable mention.
Okay. My honorable mention, one of my personal favorites, but not as good as some of these guys on my list. I've got to go T.O. Terrell Owens.
I love it. I love it. That is a phenomenal pick. Man, I gotta throw my guy Cooper Cup in there. He's
Okay.
which I may put him higher, man. That's my all time. Like I watch his film all the time. Love his story. That's one of my favorite dudes ever to watch. Um, I mean, yeah, that dude's definitely on that list for
At,
sure.
at 4, he's probably never going to make like a top 5 receiver list of all time, but probably one of the best route runners in NFL history is Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, he is probably the best footwork of all time. I
For
mean, his
sure.
feet are unbelievable.
For sure.
Um, yeah, dude, I'm gonna put man, this dude's a baller. I'm gonna put Larry Fitzgerald in there.
Oh,
Larry Fitzgerald is a baller, dude.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, again, another freak of nature. But he also, I love watching his tape. He is so technically sound. Everything he does is close
Yeah.
to perfect. He is incredible route runner, obviously strong, physical. And I saw the stat, which is crazy. He has more career tackles than career drops.
Really?
Yep.
That is wild.
Isn't that
That's a
one
good
of the
stat to have.
craziest stats ever?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal stat to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna put Okay, first off, Jerry Rice is not making my list solely because I never got to see him play. So this is my
That's
proof of
that's
failure.
that's really tough.
Look, Jerry Rice is a different human.
He's a different human.
Different human, but the only reason he's top two, arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time. But I never got to see him play, so he's not on my list. You see what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand.
So three, I've got to put Larry Fitzgerald.
I
Like
love
he
him. I love him.
self-explanatory, you know.
Yes, he's unbelievable. I understand that. All right, so this is my three. I mean I know who my top two is. Oh, damn. I'm gonna put Megatron.
Okay, okay. I might I might have to backtrack my list real quick because I
It's
forgot
okay.
one guy.
Megatron is yeah.
I didn't forget Megatron, but I forgot Julio Jones. So I'll just
I
shout
was
out.
wondering. I was wondering if you were gonna put Julio in there.
Yes, I forgot
I'm
about
not,
Julio.
but I'm not.
I
But
just
I
shout
can
out
see that.
Julio. He's not going to be on the list, but Megatron's my two.
Okay. Yep. That's a great pick. I am gonna go Randy Moss for my
Okay,
two.
that's my one.
Yep. And then I'm gonna go Jerry
Jerry
Rice
Rice. Okay,
one.
okay, fair,
That's a great list both ways.
fair. But hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast again, man. Hopefully, y'all get it done this year, get you a conference championship and hopefully two conference championships on your last 2 years. But,
Heck yeah.
praying for you, praying that everybody stays healthy on the team and good luck this year, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you having me, man.
All right, man. Hail Southern.
Hail Southern.
See ya.